Hello everybody. David back for some more, another vinyl find. It's been a couple weeks. You'll forgive me, I've been busy. Plus I haven't had that much coming in recently, but hope everyone's doing well. It's a beautiful Sunday. It was a little rainy earlier here in South Florida, but I gotta start off with a way overdue and very happily excited VCLT from the great Pat. Mr. Music Head is his name on YouTube here. A kind-hearted, beautiful soul that has very discerning and wonderful tastes. But he managed to find something that I had just a couple weeks prior to actually getting this, adding it onto my want list for Discogs. So it was like he was reading my mind. Frolic Froth. Auroboros. This is an Italian band. It is some lovely and wonderful lo-fi psych, instrumental, wonderful fuzz guitars, drums that are a bit far in the mix for me, but that just goes with the lo-fi sound of it. I mean, just jamming. It's slightly spacey. It's hard rock, psych with some just killer ripping guitar solos. Very excited to receive that, Pat. Thank you. And I mean, it found a home in the collection very, very quickly. Now, I do not normally show CDs, but in this case, I'm going to. This is some experimental jazz that has one of my favorite drummers on it. It's Sopko Laswell and Pridgeon. Thomas Pridgeon being the drummer, Mike Sopko on guitar, and Laswell for the great Bill Laswell on bass. This is some killer, spacey, noisy, like I said, experimental jazz. Sometimes it's almost kind of a drone thing going on. Other times it's more of this frantic sort of free jazz rock with Mike Sopko, the guitar player. When he really rips, it reminds me a bit of my favorite guitarist, Vernon Reid. And I mean, this just fucking great. Thomas Pridgeon on drums, you cannot go wrong with that guy. So check it out if it sounds like your kind of thing. Not normally showing CDs. I wish it was on vinyl. It's not. It's killer though. Bud, a double 10-inch off of the great Static Peace, Thurston Moore's label. This is from 1994, I think, I want to say, or 93 or 94, something like that. Australian band that straddles the line between stoner and grunge with some killer, just noisy fuzz guitars. That again, like I said, sometimes the song is like this sort of fast-paced, kind of punky, grungy thing. Other times it's a little bit more slow and you get that stoner kind of feel out of it. I mean, killer stuff. Australian band, did I mention that? Bud, self-titled. Killer, noisy shit, I love it. Second album from this great Swedish band. It's just an A, but it's got that little, accent mark over the circle. So I believe the band name is pronounced Oa. the album is Año or Oaño or Oanjo. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Forgive me, but regardless, killer Swedish band. Bandcamp. I'll put a Bandcamp link down so you can sample this. This is it's psych rock, but it has a progressive edge to it, and also has a heavy sort of folk influence to it. Even though it's not acoustic, it's all electric, but it just feels that sort of spiritual earthiness that a folk song would have a lot of times, especially in the singing. They do a lot of chants and stuff, and the singer's got a gorgeous voice. Oh man, he could sing. But killer modern psych coming out of Sweden. Got to love it. This album I've been eagerly awaiting. Fetch the Bolt Cutters, the new Fiona Apple. This album is so good. It's so good. Just look. That says all you need to know. This album features the signature Fiona Apple, sort of, I guess you call it aggression, But at the same time, a lot of it's very playful, almost childlike to me, especially in the music aspect of it. Her last album featured a big, change in her sound, and this follows along the same lines as it. But whereas the last album, to me, there were some. I mean, I love the album, but there were some parts where it was kind of, just boring. Let's be honest. It was just losing my attention. Certain songs. This one, it's got my attention everywhere you can go. Obviously, piano on here with Fiona Apple, but the rest of it is very stripped down. It's basically piano with like chants and minimal drums with some bass. That's usually an upright bass that gives it a nice jazzy tone. And her just emotionally expressing herself, which one of the reasons I love her. She conveys the emotion through her voice as much as she does through the intensity of her piano playing. So it's got kind of a lo-fi sound to it, if you would, but it's just killer all the way around, and it sounds huge on vinyl. This is a modern record. I have to say that there's a big difference in sound from playing the record versus the digital. A lot of times with a modern album, that's not really the case, but something about the way this was recorded, or maybe just mixed, that it just sounds bigger, it sounds grander on vinyl, which is the way it should sound. Because I've been listening to it digitally for a while now, so when I got it and I put it on, it was almost like another experience listening to it. But just killer. Like I said, it's that signature Fiona Apple, but it's kind of playful in ways, almost childlike, and I really, really dig it. I talked a lot about it because I like it. Big Fiona Apple fan. I cannot help myself. New Shiner for the first time since I think 2000 or 2001, something like that. The band got back together. The name of the album, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this properly, but Schadenfreude? I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but Shiner was a group in the 90s and the early 2000s before they broke up, did a couple albums, sort of alternative noise rock thing, slightly poppy. This kind of has some of that feeling going on, but at the same time, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Shoegazy. It's very sort of dream, like that shoegaze sort of dream pop mixed with that harder sort of alternative sound. It's a killer album all the way around. Killer album. Very excited they recorded some new material. Jello Biafra with the Melvins. Sig Howdy. I got this last week. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm going to. I promise you I'm going to. But it's kind of exactly what you would think it is. It's the Melvins with Jello Biafra. Jello's doing his thing, sarcastic, in your face sort of, you're stupid and I know everything sort of attitude, and the Melvins just jamming. It also features Adam Jones on guitar from Tool, so there is some killer guitar work going on in here. Either from Buzz Osborne or Adam Jones or both, who knows, but it's a good album. This they did another one. This is like kind of a remix and leftovers of the first album. I gotta get that one, but still, been meaning to get that album. Finally got around to getting it. Still gotta get the other ones. Slight Surface Noise, self-titled. I believe this is from '98, maybe '99, something like that. Late '90s. Recorded by Steve Albini. 3-piece noise rock album, and it is gorgeous. It is really gorgeous. It's not that sort of like fast, frantic, in your face. It's more mellow noise rock that a lot of times it starts slow, kind of churning, and it builds into that noise rock that we all know and love. So I mean, it's a great album. It's quiet at times. It's loud and in your face at other times. I mean, if you like noise rock and you don't know about it, slight surface noise. Only thing that they put out, I do believe, it has a screen printed cover. If that matters to anybody, I think it's pretty cool. Lead Turning into Gold, the High Confessions. Logan showed this one. Swellheads Network. And some lovely red vinyl. Let's show that off. And he talked about it. I think it was like the best albums of the 2010s or something like that. It features the drummer from, what was it? I forget. It doesn't matter. I can't remember. Sonic Youth, I think. Features the drummer from Sonic Youth. And it is some killer, I'd call it post-punk or post-rock, rather. Post-rock to me. But it's slightly industrial. It's slightly post-rock. It's got some of that noise rock feeling to it at times. Sometimes it's kind of a bit drony. Other times it's almost, a bit edgier, so it's, I don't know, it's a killer album. Something I never heard of, and it was cheap. I think with shipping it was like $9 for a double album. I'll take that all day long. So Logan, thank you for turning me on to something I had no clue about. And lastly, another album I've just been meaning to get. It's been in like the backlist for a long time. But Failure, The Heart is a Monster. Beautiful, beautiful album from former 90s band, which broke up, got back together, and they just, it's almost like they never missed a beat. They had an album come out after this last year, which I bought, and again, I just been holding off on getting this one. I don't know why, because it's so damn good. I mean, dreamy 90s alternative with touches of psych. It's fucking, it's a dream of an album. It really is a dream of an album. It's amazing. I can go on and on about it, but this video is probably long enough. So, hope you all have a wonderful Sunday, or whatever day this is that you're watching this. And, as always, till next time.